So what do I do if I'm eating 1,200 calories and I'm not losing weight? Is that not low enough for weight loss? So here's the thing, guys. If even for a girl, right? If you are in this state where you're eating 1,200 calories and you're not losing weight, here's the solution, guys. Because here's the thing. If you're pulling your food that low, right? That means that's probably your maintenance, right? And if you're not losing weight, like especially if you're eating carbs, but and despite being eating carbs and you're not able to lose weight with 1,200 calories, then you're going to have to do some serious like correcting here. Okay, you're going to have to reboot your metabolism back to where it's supposed to be, right? And the reason why this happens is because of crash dieting, right? If you don't do any diet breaks, if you don't do refeed days, right, every week, and you basically just continuously cut calories really low, and you do tons of cardio and you lose muscle, like you might put yourself in a really bad situation where you're not losing weight on 1,200 calories, right? And the reality is you're just going to have to go back the other way for a period of time, right? So what I recommend you guys do is to combat this, you're going to find your maintenance. So if you're not losing weight on 1,200 calories, try to bump your calories next week to like 1,300 calories, right? And stay there for a week. And then next week, try to bump it up to 1,400 calories, right? And then next week, bump it up to 1,500 calories. And next week after that, bump it up to 1,600 calories. And eventually, you just basically just keep doing this. It's basically like a reverse diet or like a clean bulk. And what this process will do is not only will this be a very smooth clean bulking process of slowly, not only just slowly adding muscle without much fat gain, but also you can increase your metabolism very high, right? And if you do this properly and you do this slow enough, right? Like I'm talking like literally only 100 calories like increase per week, right? If you can start doing this, right, and like take a break from the diet and rebuild your metabolism back to like maybe like to like 2,500 or even like 3,500, right? If you did like a pretty long clean bulk, then what will happen is by the time you try to go cut again, you'll be able to cut on higher calories and you have more muscle, right? And you look better and feel better. And if you do this, and you can basically try again, right? To cut to that same level of body fat. And what you're gonna realize is you're gonna be able to cut a lot faster because you have a higher metabolism. Now, in order to prevent the crash again, you're gonna have to incorporate, refeed days, right? In order to prevent yourself from putting yourself in a situation. But the first solution to fixing this like broken metabolism problem is you, my friend, just need to literally just increase calories back up for a bit, all right? And slowly over a period of time, increase calories by 100 each week, right? And eventually you'll be able to get to the point where you'll be eating around 3,000, maybe 4,000 calories, and you'll be maintaining weight on that, right? And you would have done like a very successful lean bulk where like you would have hardly put on any fat and you would have pretty much gained like a ton of muscle in that process, right? And the reason why like you don't want to go above 100 is because any more than that will probably be fat. But when you increase calories by like 100 a week, like you can basically teach your metabolism how to follow that. Because here's the thing, guys, like metabolism follows food. So if you're to increase food over a period of time, your metabolism will follow with that. But the tricky thing with metabolism is it doesn't adjust right away. So it's not like, let's say your maintenance was like 1,200 calories, and then suddenly you start to eat like 2,000 calories. You're gonna gain a ton of fat in the process in the beginning, right? Because if you're eating 2,000 calories and your metabolism is down here, that extra space is body fat that's being stored. That's above your maintenance. But if you're to go here, right, and actually eat the amount of food where your metabolism is actually at, and you have to slowly increase it over time, then your metabolism can adjust and increase without putting that much body fat. Like this is how you can do it. Because if you just increase calories way too quickly in the beginning, that's body fat in the beginning that you didn't need to store. Because if you just took it a little bit more slowly, you could have increased your metabolism up to this point without putting that much body fat. And this is why you have to do things slowly, right? Because if it takes a long time to slowly adjust your metabolism to, up to like really high amounts towards like raging, right? Like raging means like, you're burning like 4,000 calories a day. Like to get to this level, like slowly without any body fat takes like probably like 4 months, 5 months maybe, right? Of slowly increasing calories by like 100 every week, right? And when you can reach this point again, when you try to cut again, like you just be so much better, bro. You know, and you know, it'll just be so much easier to cut. You know, so that's how I would fix the problem, right? Of if you're in this very low calorie situation, and then in order to prevent that same mistake from happening again, what you're gonna do is you're gonna have refeed days. So you can have 1 or 2 refeed days where you increase your calories up to maintenance for 1 day or 2, and then for the rest of the days you're on the diet, right? You go on the deficit again, right? And the reason why I want to do 1 refeed day or 2 refeed days a week is just to prevent yourself from plateauing. Because remember, your body is worried about survival. It's not worried about, having abs. So if you want to prevent yourself from, actually starving yourself, right? I mean, actually slowing your metabolism down, right? And you want to basically signal to your body that it's still receiving a lot of food, right? So that you can tell your metabolism, hey, you can keep your metabolism very high, right? Like you want to tell your body to keep its metabolism high, right? Like the worst way to do is to just do like, a 16-day, fast, right? Like that's gonna severely downregulate your metabolism, like at the end of it, even if you lost a lot of body fat, so that's why, you want to really increase it, the calories slowly with the rebuilding the metabolism. And also if you're trying to lose body fat, make sure you incorporate those refeed days, those days where you are eating around maintenance 1 to 2 days per week, because that will prevent you from plateauing. If you don't do the refeed days, like for some reason you plateau, for some reason like you would just stop losing body fat, right? So it's better to have those 2 refeed days and those 2 days where you're not on a diet, and then go back on the diet for the other 5 days. I find that this is a very effective approach to being able to cut with higher food, but also keeping your metabolism high while also, looking good. Because when you're on a diet, you deplete glycogen stores. So like, when you can have that 1 day or 2 days where you're like replenishing all your glycogen stores, like you feel full, right? At least you can signal to your body, okay, like we have full glycogen, that means our body is not starving. Because the best way to signal to your body that it's not starving to death is to have full glycogen stores. That's the best signal to give it, right? When you can signal to your body that it has glycogen stores that are full, like that's signaling to your body that, hey, we're not starving. So if you can do that once per week by doing these refeed days, when you go in a deficit, like you can just continuously keep losing fat until you eventually get it off. So that's how I would troubleshoot this problem, right? Because you guys have to understand metabolism, right? It follows food, which means that if you're to slowly increase food over a period of time, the metabolism follow that. And then if you're to basically cut food like dramatically over a period of time, your metabolism is going to crash for a reason, right? Because our bodies are not wired for abs or aesthetics, it's wired for survival. Our bodies are not worried about how good we look. Like our bodies are just worried about how can we survive. Okay, so that's why our metabolism does adjust with food, which means that if you want to manipulate metabolism to make sure that it's high while you're like trying to cut body fat, you're going to have days where you have high food to signal to your body that it's not starving. So that's one reason why I recommend you guys do the refeed days.